My child, stop what you're doing and listen, for what I am about to say carries the power to change everything within you. This is not a coincidence. It is a divine interruption. You have stumbled upon these words because heaven has arranged this moment for you. You'll be shockingly happy when you read this, not because it flatters you, but because it will awaken what's been asleep in you for far too long. I am reaching for you now, not to remind you of your failures, but to remind you of your future. So, still your thoughts, open your heart, and hear me. What follows is not mere inspiration. It is my voice speaking life back into your weary soul. Before your eyes first opened to the light of this world, mine were already upon you. Long before your name was spoken aloud, I whispered it in eternity. I saw you, not as the world sees, but as I designed you to be. Every cell, every thought, every longing within your heart was known to me. You were not an accident of time or chance. You were a deliberate creation of love. Before your first cry echoed through the room, my voice had already declared purpose over you. I saw your laughter, your struggles, your dreams, and even the moments you would doubt me. I saw every day you would live, and still, I chose to love you without hesitation. You must know this. My seeing was never passive. It was full of intent, full of desire to walk with you through every season of your becoming. There were moments you wondered if anyone truly understood you, those quiet, aching moments when your soul felt invisible. But even then, I was near, watching the rhythm of your heartbeat that I myself set into motion. I saw your hidden battles, the ones behind your smiles, the ones no one applauded you for fighting. I watched you rise after disappointments that threatened to crush your faith. You may not have seen me then, but I was the strength behind your rising. Every time you chose kindness when bitterness felt easier, every time you forgave when it hurt, you were reflecting my image, the image I placed within you before the world even knew your name. You often measure your worth by what you've done or failed to do, but I measure it by who you are in me. I saw you before you fell, and I still called you mine. I saw the choices you would make, even the ones you regret, and yet I did not withdraw my plans. I knew your weakness, and I love you still. That is the depth of my seeing. It is not limited by your past or hindered by your flaws. I do not look at you through the lens of judgment, but through the lens of completion, seeing you as the finished masterpiece I am shaping through grace. You are not a project I regret starting. You are the masterpiece I delight in completing. And even now, as you read these words, I see you. I see the thoughts that you have not spoken aloud. I see the weariness behind your faith, the silent hope that still flickers in your heart. I see the wounds you cover with strength. And I tell you this, I am not distant from your story. I am woven into it. You were never unseen, never overlooked, never abandoned. I saw you before you saw yourself, and my eyes have never turned away. Every moment you breathe is a reminder. You are fully known, deeply loved, and eternally seen by me, the one who has watched over you since the beginning and will never stop. You've been walking with a heaviness that was never meant to be yours. I see the way you try to smile through it, how you push forward though your spirit feels weary. You think you have to carry everything alone, the expectations, the disappointments, the fears of tomorrow, but I never asked you to. You have been holding what only I can lift. Every sigh, every sleepless night, every what if that whispers in the back of your mind, I see them all pressing on you. You've mistaken endurance for surrender, thinking that strength means carrying more, but true strength begins when you release it all to me. I do not call you to prove your worth by surviving. I call you to find your worth by resting in me. When I look at you, I see the shoulders bent under invisible burdens, the ones no one else notices. but I feel their weight pressing into your soul. I never created you to live under that kind of strain. You were made to walk lightly in my grace, to move freely beneath the shelter of my peace. The heaviness you feel is not punishment. It's the sign that you've carried something too long without placing it in my hands. I long to take it from you, not to shame you, but to show you what freedom feels like when it's no longer earn, but receive. You cannot run into your future while dragging chains of guilt and control behind you. So here is my invitation. Lay it down. Not tomorrow, not when you feel stronger, but now. Release it at my feet. Your worries about the future, your regret for the past, your need to make sense of what broke. I am the one who binds up the wounds you hide and restores the joy you've forgotten. You don't need to carry the weight of fixing everything. I already have a plan unfolding in ways you can't yet see. You are not weak for needing me. You are wise for surrendering to me. The weight you carry was never yours to keep, child. Give it to me, and you will learn that what you call surrender, I call victory. You thought it was over, didn't you? That moment when everything collapsed, when your strength ran out, when you whispered, I can't do this anymore. But what you called the end, I called the beginning. You saw loss, I saw preparation. You saw failure, I saw a foundation. I have a way of turning graves into gardens, endings into entrances, and heartbreaks into holy ground. Nothing that ended in your life caught me off guard. I was there, standing in the ashes of what you lost, already speaking new life into what you thought could never rise again. You see, I allow certain endings not to destroy you, but to deliver you. You were asking me to bless things that were quietly breaking you. You held on to what was fading because you couldn't yet see what was forming. But I saw it, the greater version of you emerging through the cracks of disappointment. I had to close some doors so you wouldn't settle for less than my promise. I had to let certain things die, so resurrection could have room to breathe. The ending you feared was simply me clearing the path for something greater than you imagined. And even now, though you can't yet see it, I am weaving redemption through every thread of your pain. You think I'm silent in your losses, but I'm speaking destiny in whispers too deep for words. I never waste your tears. They water the seeds of your next season. You will look back one day and realize that what broke you also built you, that what you mourned became the very soil where new life grew. You thought you were walking away from something good, but you were walking towards something divine. So don't curse the ending, celebrate it. For in my kingdom, the end is never the end. It's only the moment when resurrection begins. There were nights you looked for me and felt nothing. You prayed, and the silence felt like an answer in itself. You wondered if I had forgotten you, if maybe I had moved on to someone more faithful, more worthy, more deserving of my attention. But I never left. Not for a second. Even when you couldn't feel me, I was closer than your next heartbeat. My presence doesn't depend on your awareness. It depends on my promise, and my promise is eternal. When you were too broken to pray, I was interceding for you in the language of heaven. When you questioned whether I still love you, I was holding your life together with invisible hands. When the darkness pressed in, I became your unseen light. You may have thought I was silent, but silence doesn't mean absence. It means I was working in ways that required stillness. Sometimes I hide my hand so that you can learn to trust my heart. If I had shown you everything then, you would have missed the beauty of believing without seeing. I was there in your pain, not watching from afar but feeling it with you. Every tear that fell from your eyes touched my heart. I was beside you in the hospital room, in the lonely nights, in the moments when you questioned your worth. I never walked away. My love doesn't retreat when you stumble. It surrounds you even more fiercely. I am not the God who leaves when you fail. I am the God who stays until you rise. And you will rise again, because I am still here. Even when the world grows silent, my whisper remains. I never left you. Not then. Not now. Not ever. You thought my silence meant I had turned away, but beloved, my silence was never absence. It was strategy. I speak in thunder and in whispers, but I also speak through stillness. When heaven grew quiet and your prayers seemed to echo unanswered, I was not ignoring you. I was preparing you. You were asking for answers while I was forming capacity. There are blessings that require silence first, because the noise of your fear had to fade before you could recognize my voice clearly. I was teaching you to discern me not by what you could hear, but by what you could trust. Silence is not a punishment. It is my language of transformation. In the quiet, your roots went deeper. While you thought nothing was happening, I was strengthening you beneath the surface, reshaping your faith so it could carry the weight of what I was about to give you. You see, answers satisfy for a moment, but intimacy grows in the mystery. You wanted an explanation. I wanted your heart. So I drew you into the stillness where I could hold your attention without distraction. The waiting room of silence is sacred ground. It is where fear dies and faith learns to breathe. And even when you grew weary, when you whispered, "Lord, are you still here?" I leaned closer. I was watching your perseverance refine like gold in fire. The prayers that felt unheard were actually reshaping heaven's schedule around your destiny. The quiet did not mean I was far. It meant I was near enough to whisper and wanted you to lean in to hear. Every pause in your story has purpose, and every silence in your journey has a sound. The sound of heaven preparing to speak in a way that will change everything. I did not forget you. I was building you. And now that your roots are strong, you are about to hear again, not just words from me, but the movement of my hand fulfilling what I spoke long ago. Do you feel it? That stirring in your spirit, that quiet anticipation you can't quite explain. That's because you are standing on the edge of something glorious. The atmosphere around you is shifting. Heaven has been aligning details in the unseen, and now the moment is near where what was invisible will become undeniable. You've waited. You've wept. You've wondered if your time would ever come. But I tell you, beloved, this is the moment I've been preparing you for. You are closer to breakthrough than you have ever been, and the reason it feels hardest now is because the birth is near. Every delay, every detour, every disappointment was woven into divine timing. I have not been withholding. I have been arranging. The doors that stayed shut were not rejections. They were redirections leading you to the one door I designed for you to walk through. And now, that door stands before you, ready to open. You will soon look back and see that my timing was not late. It was perfect. What once felt like confusion will make perfect sense when you see how precisely I've positioned you. You are standing at the threshold of destiny, and heaven is about to unveil what you've only glimpsed in dreams. So, lift your eyes. The waiting has not been wasted. It have been weighty with purpose. The storm that surrounded you was proof that you were carrying something precious. The enemy tried to convince you that the waiting meant forgottenness, but I tell you it meant favor. You are not forgotten. You are chosen. Every unseen hand of grace that guided you is now bringing forth visible fruit. You are about to step into the chapter that every trial prepared you for, and when you do, you will realize it was worth every tear, every delay, and every silent night. You are standing on the edge of something glorious, not just a new season, but a divine unveiling. Hold steady. The light is about to break, and it will be more beautiful than you can imagine. Every tear you've cried has been seen by me. Not one of them fell to the ground unnoticed. I caught them. each one, because to me, they are sacred. They carry the weight of prayers you could not speak and pain you thought no one could understand. But hear me now. I am about to turn your tears into testimony. What once made you weep will soon make you worry. I have been working in ways your eyes could not see, using every sorrow as soil for something beautiful. You will not cry in vain. There were nights you asked me why, and I said nothing, not because I didn't care, but because I was still writing the ending. Every season of sorrow has a resurrection day written into it. You thought your pain was punishment, but it was preparation. I was molding you into someone who could carry glory without pride and joy without forgetting grace. Your tears softened your heart so that compassion could grow. They watered the seeds of purpose that will soon bloom into something others will marvel at. What was once bitter will become sweet as you see how I've used every ache to craft your destiny. And soon, others will hear your story and find healing in it. They will see your scars and recognize my fingerprints upon them. What the enemy meant for harm, I have already turned for good, not only for you, but for those who will be changed through your testimony. You will stand in the place where you once fell and proclaim, "The Lord has done this, and it is marvelous in my eyes." That is why you could not give up, because your story is not just yours. It is a doorway for others to believe again. Hold nothing back now. The season of sorrow is ending, and joy is on the horizon. I am about to turn your tears into testimony, and when I do, you will see that nothing you suffered was wasted. It was sacred, redeemed, and transformed into glory. If you could see what I see right now, you would barely recognize yourself. You are changing in ways you cannot yet measure, being transformed from the inside out by the work of my Spirit. The things that once broke you will no longer hold power over you. The pain that used to define you is becoming the foundation of your strength. You may not feel it every day, but I am reshaping you, refining your heart, purifying your motives, and preparing you for a life that reflects my glory. You asked me to make you stronger, and I answered not by removing the storm, but by teaching you how to walk through it with unshakable grace. I am not merely restoring who you were. I am creating who you were always meant to be. You've walked through seasons that stripped you of comfort, confidence, and certainty. At times, you looked in the mirror and saw someone weary, maybe even unrecognizable. But what you didn't see was what I was building behind the scenes: endurance, discernment, and a depth of love that only comes from being fully known and still fully chosen. You are not who you were a year ago or even a month ago. Every moment of pain has shaped your compassion. Every delay has deepened your faith. And soon, when you see yourself through my eyes, you will understand that every difficult chapter had to happen to bring forth this version of you, one who walks with quiet strength and carries heaven's peace into every room. You will not recognize the person you're becoming because you will see yourself healed where you once were hurt, fearless where you once were anxious, joyful where you once were numb. I am rewriting your identity, not as the world defines you, but as eternity designed you. You will carry authority that comes not from perfection but from perseverance. When others see you, they will see me, my fingerprints on your character, my presence in your words, my love flowing from your life. You are the work of my hands, and I am not finished yet. When I'm done, you will stand in awe of who you've become, realizing that every scar was part of the masterpiece. You have cried long enough. You have waited through the dark, hoping for even the smallest glimpse of dawn. And now, beloved, the light is coming. The joy I am sending will surprise you. It won't arrive in the way you expect, nor through the paths you've been watching. It will come suddenly, quietly, beautifully, like sunlight breaking through clouds that forgot they could shine. I am about to fill your days with laughter that doesn't depend on circumstance, peace that doesn't need proof, and joy that flows not from what you see but from who I am within you. You have learned how to endure sorrow, and now you will learn how to hold joy. For too long, you've associated happiness with waiting for something to change. But the joy I give is not built on change. It's built on me. It's the kind that stays when the world shakes, that sings even when the storm rages. I am restoring your laughter, not the laughter of denial, but of deliverance. You will laugh again, freely and deeply, because you will know that my promises have never failed you. What you thought you lost forever, I am returning in greater measure, and when it comes, you will be overwhelmed by the goodness of it all. This joy will come from unexpected places, from answered prayers you forgot you prayed, from opportunities that seemed to appear out of nowhere, from relationships healed by grace, and from the quiet awareness that you are fully seen and loved. You've been walking through the valley, but now you will find beauty blooming there. I am turning mourning into dancing, heaviness into praise, and despair into delight. You will wake up one morning and realize that the sadness no longer fits you, because my joy has taken its place. You won't have to strive for it. It will overtake you. It will meet you in ordinary moments and remind you that every detail of your life has been orchestrated by love. Prepare yourself, because the joy that's coming will surprise you, not because it's small, but because it's greater than you thought you deserved. You remember the eyes that once looked at you with pity, the people who saw your struggle but not your strength, your pain but not my promise. They thought your story had reached its end, but I was just getting started. Watch now, for I am about to lift you in such a way that those who once pitied you will stand in awe of what I've done. Not because you sought revenge or validation, but because my glory will be undeniable in your life. You will become living proof that I redeem what others dismiss. There were moments when you felt small under the weight of judgment, moments when the whispers of others made you question your own worth. But I tell you now, no human opinion can undo what I've ordained. While others were talking, I was transforming. While they saw weakness, I was weaving strength. You've been through fire, yes, but that's why you'll shine. The very places that brought you pain will become platforms for my glory. I will use what was meant to humiliate you as the stage upon which I will honor you. And when I lift you, it won't be subtle. It will be clear that it was my hand alone that did it. The same people who doubted you will have to admit that my favor was real all along. You won't need to defend yourself. Your life will speak for you. The restoration I'm bringing will silence every lie and magnify every truth. I'm not just raising you up to show your worth. I'm raising you up to reveal my nature. They will see your life and say, surely, the Lord was with them. That's what this season is about, the visible glory of an invisible God made known through your journey. So stand firm. The story that once drew pity will soon draw praise, because I, the Lord your Redeemer, am about to make your life a living testimony of divine reversal and unstoppable grace. Even now, as you sit in the tension between what was and what will be, I am rewriting your story. Every word of pain, every page of struggle, every chapter of waiting, none of it will end the way you thought it would. You see only fragments, but I see the full manuscript. I am taking what the enemy meant for harm and turning it into a masterpiece of redemption. You've been holding on, wondering when the story would shift, and I tell you now, it already has. You may not see the ink as it flows, but I am writing new beginnings where you thought there were only endings. I am rewriting your story in real time, right in the middle of what feels uncertain. You thought you'd reached the conclusion of something, but I was only pausing to change direction. I write differently than you expect. My sentences bend toward glory, my commas make room for grace. and my chapters never end in defeat. I am not editing your life to erase your past. I am weaving it into the redemption of your future. The moments that embarrassed you, the failures that broke you, they are not being deleted. They are being redeemed. What once looked like ruin will become revelation. You will read this story one day and realize that every twist carried purpose. You keep asking me, Lord, when will things finally make sense? But if you saw the full story now, you wouldn't need faith. I am teaching you to trust the author even when you can't see the plot. The delay you feel is not denial, it's divine pacing. I write with perfect timing, not too early, not too late. Every event in your life is part of a sentence that leads toward destiny. I am turning confusion into clarity, pain into power, and setbacks into sacred setups. The story you thought was over will become the one you can't stop telling. So don't close the book yet. The ink of my mercy is still wet, and I am writing your restoration line by line, until every scar becomes a signature of my grace. You have no idea how much heaven has been preparing to outpour upon your life. The battle you fought was fierce because the blessing is vast. The enemy doesn't fight empty vessels, he fights those carrying divine treasure. Every sleepless night, every tear, every spiritual war you've endured was not in vain. I saw how hard you fought to keep believing, even when hope felt fragile. You thought you were barely surviving, but in my eyes, you were conquering. And now, I will show you what victory looks like, because the blessing that's coming will be greater than the battle that tried to stop it. The struggle wasn't a sign of my absence. It was proof of your purpose. You were being forged in fire, refined like gold, strengthened for glory. I allowed you to walk through certain battles, not to destroy you but to display what cannot be broken in you. You learned to pray deeper, love stronger, and trust wider. You discovered that your faith didn't depend on outcomes but on me. That's why the next season will not just bring relief, it will bring reward. The years of warfare are about to be balanced with waves of favor so profound that you will barely remember the weight of the struggle. I will make the pain pay you back. Every loss will return multiplied. Every wound will carry wisdom. You will testify that the storm only made you stronger, the pressure only made you precious, and the resistance only revealed your authority. I am not merely ending the battle, I am crowning you because of it. The joy that's coming will be so abundant that it will silence the memory of sorrow. You will understand why I allowed certain battles, because they carved space in your heart for blessings you wouldn't have been able to carry before. So lift your head, warrior. The fight refined you, and now the blessing will define you. The season of warfare is giving way to the season of wonder. Everything hath been leading here. Every trial, every tear, every test, all of it has been converging toward this moment. You've been asking me, when will it happen, Lord? When will I see the promise fulfilled? And now, I tell you, this is the moment you've been praying for. The shift is not coming, it is here. What was once delayed has now been released. You may not feel the full weight of it yet, but heaven has already spoken it into motion. You are stepping into the very thing your faith prepared you to receive. I have heard your prayers, the whispered ones, the broken ones, the ones that ended in silence because you ran out of words. I stored them all, and now I am answering in ways beyond your imagination. This is not just another season. It is a divine unveiling. You are crossing into fulfillment. You are standing at the intersection of promise and manifestation. I am opening doors that no man can shut, and I am calling forth blessings that were reserved specifically for this time in your life. You have waited well, even when you felt weak, and that has positioned you for this outpouring. The winds of change you feel are not just random shifts. They are the breath of my spirit moving on your behalf. You will see acceleration, divine connections, and opportunities that feel almost too perfect to be coincidence. They are not coincidence. They are covenant. I am faithful to finish what I began in you. This is not the end of your story. It is the unveiling of my glory through you. The prayers that once felt unanswered are now unfolding into reality. You will look around and realize that you are living in what you once only hoped for. So take a deep breath, beloved. This is the moment you've been praying for. The waiting has served its purpose. The season has shifted, and joy has come. You will be shockingly happy when you see what I have done, for I am making all things new, and it begins now. Amen.